Because I'm dying to hear how your birthday performance went.
It was so fun and so it was so low key and easier. Like the worst part about it was inviting people. So I'm like actually really inspired to start like hosting a regular like open mic night sort of situation, like eclectic, like no rules, like come with a scene and a scene partner, like come with a monologue, come with the song that you wrote, come with the song somebody else wrote, come with the song with no accompaniment or bring your friend to accompany you or like whatever. 'Cause I mean, I sang a musical theater song with like a karaoke backing track,
Yep.
and then I sang two songs with my guitar. My friend performed a Shakespeare monologue and had her improv troupe like had never heard the monologue before and were like improving physically what was happening, and it was
Yeah.
so funny. And then she had a friend do like a little 5 minute stand-up act.
I loved that so
Yeah.
much.
And it was like, it was just so fun. It's exactly how I would want to spend my birthday. Like, honestly, I could have spent 3 hours being like, and now I'm going to do this for you guys. And it was very like in my studio, we take off our shoes just because that way we don't have to clean the floors often. And also, it's like, if you've seen like what it looks like in there, it's very like, nature-esque, like forest vibes. So it just like kind of transports you out of New York City for a minute and you just get to be somewhere
Yeah.
else. Um, and so it was like funny. I was like, as I started the show, I was like, so imagine you are our parents and you're watching TV, and Tess and I, your children, come busting in and say, turn that off. We have something to show you.
That is amazing. I literally was like, I feel my inner child is like, that's so cool. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, let's get together and perform.
Like seriously, I was like, wow, I should really figure out how to do this more often. In like a bigger like sense, but also in this small sense. Like it was so yummy and like just the magic is in the doing. You know, we talk and talk and talk and talk and then we analyze and we analyze and we prepare, but nothing prepares us the way actually doing prepares us.
That right there kind of also illustrates why in my like program that's like my become a spiritual mentor program, right? I have this like embodiment bingo for people. Like so
Mm.
throughout the program when they're like, "All right, I need a little more. I want to go deeper." They can like choose different things that would help them on their journey. And one of them is an improv class. Like
Mm-hmm.
all therapists should take an improv class because especially before you ever meet with your first client because guess what? Therapy is one big improv session. Like
Yeah,
there's no script. You don't know what people are going to come in with. You might have an idea where a conversation is going, and then it doesn't go that way at all. And there's nothing that can
right.
prepare you for it besides actually being in a situation where you're kind of put on the spot and you have to go within and get creative and figure
Yeah,
it out.
I think something that's like really, I've watched a lot of improv because my friends do improv. I have not been brave enough to sign up for a class, but maybe that's in my new year, new me future. It's not a new me, but it is a new year. Um, there's so many classes to take, you know, but I think like watching it, you see like, oh my gosh, they really have to listen. They have to be able to um like live on their impulses. Like my impulse says do this, so I'm gonna do it, and then be able to like shift gear really quick.
Yeah, yes.
And like I feel that also as like a voice teacher, like, you know, sometimes I give an exercise and it's just like it's not working. Whether there's like a heightened resistance between the singer and their voice and what I'm like what we're trying to do, or if it's just like it's taking them away from the embodiment when like the whole idea is to like bring you into embodiment, but some everyone is so different. So like sometimes lots of times something that works so easily for me or so like seamlessly for another student isn't going to work for a particular student. And so it takes like a lot of listening
Yeah.
and improv. Yeah. But yeah, I think too, like there's a level of silliness that we forget we can exist with as adults.
We have to
We
exist with.
have to. We have to be so silly because, like, at the end of the day, like, as serious as important as everything is that we do, it's also like not.
Right.
Like,
Right.
if everybody took themselves so seriously, I would not be sitting here reading Onyx Storm all
Right.
day because nobody would have thought to write a silly, it's like a book about dragons. Like, how silly. Dragons aren't real, but like, also like it's not silly like because there are real things happening to me emotionally and imaginatively when I like get to leave my Brooklyn apartment and go to a war college that focuses on like dragon training.
Yes. Yes. We It's so interesting, right? Like a lot of, and quite a few of my spiritual mentoring sessions, my clients who are like heavily on TikTok will bring something that's like heavily in the algorithm to the sessions. And for a while there in the algorithm, it was all about maladaptive daydreaming. And so I was having all of these clients be like, I think I'm maladaptive
What
daydreaming.
is that?
So maladaptive
Educate us.
yeah, some maladaptive daydreaming is not just like letting yourself daydream. It's kind of when you have that like off thought or an intrusive thought and
Mm-hmm.
you continue with it. So like
Mm-hmm.
you not only think about yourself getting into a car accident, you think about how your family's going to react when they get the news. You think about who's going to plan the funeral. You think about who's writing the obituary, what's going to be in it. And you literally let yourself get to the space of like emotionally feeling like it's actually happening and
Mm-hmm.
you're just losing yourself in this space. Sure, we can consider like never actually being present with what you have going on in your life, also maladaptive daydreaming, but it's also okay to let yourself daydream. Like that's creativity, that's imagination. Like
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and so it felt like all of a sudden any daydreaming was considered
Mm.
maladaptive because it was being used to not be present.
Yeah.
We're not designed to be present 24/7.
Right. Yeah, we're not. But you know, like the overarching theme in like so many, well, we have to remember like on social media, like the majority of these like things that are being presented to us are so that they can sell us something.
Yes.
So that they can tell us that there's something wrong with us so that we will buy whatever supplement is going to fix us and make us like a better worker, a better contributor to society, not so messed up when like we're not as messed up as I think we're being made to believe.
Yes. Yes. It We're not meant to be these like for some reason this term is not an actual term, but it feels like it resonates. Like we're not meant to be these like mono emotional people.
Right.
We're
Yeah.
we're not meant to just be like obedient. This is also why I had a hard time with
Right.
like parents, the parent dynamic when I was working with children. The
Mm-hmm.
parents who were like emotionally intelligent, ready, bought into like therapy, great here for it. The ones who are like, I want you to make my kids say yes. I want you to make my kids say, when I say jump, say how high. And I'm like,
Yeah, can you fix them?
ooh, I don't do
And you're like, I
that.
don't know if that is. It's kind of like this, like, you know, trope going on. And maybe I shouldn't even say this, but how like everyone thinks they have ADHD now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, lots of people have ADHD. I'm not
Yes.
discrediting people who have ADHD, but this idea that like everybody who's not like completely focused all the time and can get their to-do list done every single day without any sort of like pushback mentally or like, stuff like that, then like you have ADHD. And I'm like, that's just no.
Y-
Some things are like less pleasurable to do, so it takes like more effort to function. Like, there are lots of things that I don't want to do that I force myself to do. And sometimes I don't force myself to do. Like today, I'm giving myself a mental health day to an extent. And there's like, 15% of me that like wants to beat myself up for it. But then there's like the other part of me that's like having like kind of a birthday hangover in a sense. And I'm like, you know what? Can we just like do the thing that we like always wish that we could be doing, which is like lazing about and reading my book and getting a couple things done. And it's hard. It's like hard both. It's hard to do this today actually, but it's also like, hard to do the other thing some days too, which is like, the emails and the Excel sheets and the all that stuff.
just got that email with your 1099 is ready. I was like,
Right.
sure is, isn't it? Yeah, sometimes part of me just like wishes people would pay me to go back to school so I would love to research and understand the mindsets and differences, at least when like the way I perceived mental health attitudes when we were like teenagers, so in like the early 2000s, was like, fuck you, don't put me in a box, like don't label me, I'm gonna be who I'm gonna be, like I don't need a diagnosis. And now it's like the pendulum swung where it's like the diagnosis makes the person now feel validated in
Uh-huh.
their eccentricities, their traumas,
Hmm.
their desires, their little quirks, like. And so it's like, okay, where do we find the balance of like, hey, not everything about you has to be pathologized,
Right.
and
Right.
like, hey, yeah, having a diagnosis that could give you clarity as to what's going on within you and provide you a roadmap to feeling better sounds fucking amazing.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I struggle with this just like everybody else. Like there are days when I'm like, just what is wrong with me? I can't do anything, but it's just I think what more people need to be asking is what is wrong with the state of the world right now that is making me feel like I am a failure all the time. Like, I think that is what we need to be asking. Why am I constantly being made to feel like I'm failing,
yeah, exactly. Ex-
opposed to the opposite? Like, maybe I'm not failing. Maybe it's things are failing around me.
that's literally my whole master's degree. Yeah, like the title's marriage and family therapy, but it's systemic therapy. It's
Hmm.
like seeing the person and how they're impacted by the systems around them, and then how they create the systems within themselves and within their family to manage all of these dynamics and experiences.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's a whole rabbit hole I could spend like 3 hours talking on, but I'm really excited to see what song you brought today.
Oh, do I go first? Oh, I
You get to
do.
go first today.
Okay, so I debated. I was having Yeah, I couldn't really decide what I wanted to bring in, but I ended up bringing in a song by Kat Hasty, who maybe you've heard of her, maybe you haven't.
Haven't.
This song, it ended up on a playlist of mine like years ago, and it's actually one of the songs I performed at my birthday party.
Perfect.
Yeah. Do you want the lyrics?
I do want the lyric.
Okay, the song is called The Highway Song by Kat Hasty, Kat with a K, Hasty, Hasty. Are you ready for some Kat Hasty?
I'm ready.
Cool. Here we go.
I was 17, fell in love with a man who didn't love me, so I've been breaking hearts trying to fill the spot that he left empty. Started back when I was naive, loved him with every part of me. Can be the woman that I should be, cheap thrills and cheaper dreams. On a highway with no name, we're all high on Mary Jane, and I bummed one cigarette, but now I'm smoking like a train. Got a man from Oklahoma, and I told him that I loved him, but I was born for leaving. I'll be gone in the morning. Now I'm tired and I'm alone, but it's been so long, this is all I know. And it kills me what his pictures show. He's better off on his own. Memory from his beaten path, a memory that'll never last. And he is everything that I have ever known.
Hmm.
On a highway with no name, we're all high on Mary Jane, and I bummed one cigarette, but now I'm smoking like a train. Got a man from Oklahoma, and I told him that I loved him, but I was born for leaving. I'll be gone in the morning. Just when I think that I'm over it, it comes in the form of a sleepless night. Just when I think that I'm moving on, comes in the form of a heartache song. Just when I think that I'm over it, it comes in the form of a cocaine habit. Just when I think that I'm moving on, comes in the form of a heartache song. On a highway with no name, we're all high on Mary Jane, and I bummed one cigarette, but now I'm smoking like a train. Got a man from Oklahoma, and I told him that I loved him, but I was born for leaving. I'll be gone in the morning. I'll be gone in the morning. I'll be gone in the morning.
I got the chills right there at the end there. Full stand up, hair on end.
Yeah, isn't it just like her voice goes in between like this sweet softness to like out of control, like back and forth, like seamlessly. Like, and when I say like out of control, I mean in like the best way. Like when we yodel or we like, Oklahoma, like that sort of stuff is like so good. And then in her first verse, you can hear her like running out of breath, but it goes so seamlessly with what she's saying. Um, it all it all started, I was 17, fell in love with a man who didn't love me. So I've been breaking hearts trying to fill the spot that he left empty. She's out of air when she sings empty, and I'm like, yes, of course.
Yeah, like I love how it feels like I just want to get this one part of my story out so you get it and you understand me and I can get to the next part. Like this is, I mean, first of all, that like those lyrics of in 17 fell in love with the man who didn't love me, and I was like, did you date my ex's friend or my ex? Like,
Well, I think it's like such a, we talk about this all the time. Specific equals universal. It's such a universal experience for a lot of us. Um, to realize the first person that like we think cares about us doesn't.
litter, like Yes. Yeah.
And then like searching for kind of like to me, it sounds like the way that I like searched for male attention on all platforms. Like I've got this guy over here in Oklahoma, but like I was born for leaving. Like I'm like literally out of this hurt, I cannot find stability. And I'm on I'm smoking with the boys on a train and
Yep.
I'm like doing all this thing, traveling in this like it to me it sounds like traveling with this like pack of men
Yeah.
just trying to get over the initial heartbreak.
Yes.
And I love that because I've been that. Now I've been like so single for so long. That's like my 30s, but like in my 20s, I feel like that was my entire 20s is just like trying to like prove to myself or like the universe or that first love that somebody
Yep.
is gonna love me. And that somebody also might just be like a bunch of somebodies that I don't even care about.
I'm also obsessed with the just when I thought I was over it. Like, yes, we have to accept that life is cyclical and we are going to re-experience our wounds in new ways all the time.
hmm
And eventually we get far enough on the highway that it's not a cocaine habit and it's not seeking male validation. But if we try to like avoid that, we will live in that still.
Right. Yeah. I'm being reminded about someone talking to me about like a really toxic ex that I have from the past and how, unfortunately, still he that experience is coloring a few of my choices when it comes to like my present dating life or whatever. And they're like, until you break that, like he's still like living in you. Like this person that you've like, I mean, broken up with, blocked, reblocked, all this stuff. Like I've done everything humanly possible to keep this person out of my life, yet
Yeah.
they're still here. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
And we're all, I think it goes back to what we were saying before with like mental health. Like, I mean, it's not normal, but it's also normal. Like,
Right.
trying to figure this stuff out. I'm not perfect. I did everything that I could. I'm gonna start crying. I've done everything that I could to make sure that this person could stop hurting me. Yet the last piece is my part in it, and like I'm having a hard time with it.
Mm.
And
Oh,
that's okay.
yes. Y- And like I was saying, avoiding it keeps you stuck there. So by you just like admitting it here with all of us, like that, that's a huge step. That's
Yeah.
freedom. Knowing that it's your problem now,
Yeah.
like you fantastic because you can control yourself to an extent, like
Right.
the universe plays its own part in everything. But like, God, it's so much easier. I say that obviously very removed from like, but it's
Well,
easier for your like to
no, you're
go
right.
within than try to like wish somebody would change.
Right. Exactly. And it's also like, like you said, there's so much freedom in me just like saying it out loud. Like I know this thing, but like, and this is a very like Freudian and Jungian concept, but to like say it out loud, to speak it out loud or to sing about it is like that's how we get it out of us. That's how we get the rumination to like chill out. That's how we like let these, I don't know, bad actors living within us like move on.
Li-
Um, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that my favorite like theory of therapy that I learned about was narrative therapy. And I think part of the reason I was so drawn to it was because it emphasized the importance of being witnessed and how once your story is witnessed, it changes.
Mm-hmm.
And how just that little shift can be like the ripple effect that leads to like total transformation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for witnessing.
Yes.
Trying to
Of course.
transform.
Thanks for sharing.
But yeah, that song for me is like about all of all of the boys, starting with dad,
Mm,
you know?
they say if you listen to any like heartbreak song long enough times, it becomes about your family instead.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
think, I mean, you know, who better to break your heart than the people who, you know, are here to love you, or you were like m literally made to love.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh,
Hmm.
amazing song. I'm excited to add that one to my playlist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good,
Yes.
good, good.
Yes.
Yeah, she needs more listeners on Spotify. I
Well,
mean,
she's
from what I can tell.
got
Yeah.
one.
Not that she needs it. I'm just like
Yeah.
in like comparison to like her gifts and talents and what she's putting out, like I think there should be more.
Yes. Amazing.
Okay, what are you playing for me? I'm scared. I'm already so
Yay.
teary. I mean, I guess I'm not scared to cry, but
Well, I was like, you know what? We got to play some more Taylor Swift. We really
okay.
do. And I like realized the other day that number 5 of like my top favorite Taylor Swift songs can go in and out, but like all of my favorite Taylor Swift songs are the track 5s, the, vul-
Okay.
the vulnerable ones. And so this one is So Long London, and it's from her most recent release, The Tortured Poets Department.
Okay, I don't know if I've heard this song.
Yeah, you might have only heard clips of it because I did do a TikTok to it, but like
Okay.
that's not experiencing the song.
Right. Should I pull up lyrics? Probably.
Yes, absolutely.
What's it called again?
So Long London. Okay.
So long, London, so
Sounds like a boys' choir.
Right.
I saw in my mind fairy lights through the mist. I kept calm and carried the weight of the rift. Pulled him in tighter each time he was drifting away. My spine split from carrying us up the hill. Wet through my clothes, weary bones caught the chill. I stopped trying to make him laugh, stopped trying to drill the safe. Thinking, how much sad did you think I had? Did you think I had in me? Oh, the tragedy. So long, London. You'll find someone. I didn't opt in to be your odd man out. I found at the club she's heard great things about. I left all I knew, you left me at the house by the heath. I stopped CPR after all, it's no use. The spirit was gone, we would never come to. And I'm pissed off you let me give you all that youth for free. For so long.
And you know.
Yeah.
Stitches undone, 2 graves, 1 gun. I'll find someone. And you say I abandoned the ship, but I was going down with it. My white knuckle dying grip, holding tight to your quiet resentment. And my friend said it isn't right to be scared. Every day a love affair, every breath feels like rarest air. When you're not sure if he wants to be there.
Oh my
So
God.
how much but where were the clues? I died on the altar waiting for the proof. You sacrifice us to the gods of your bluest days. And I'm just getting color back into my face. I'm just mad as hell 'cause I loved this place for so long. London had a good run, a moment of war sighs, but I'm not the one. So long, London, stitches undone, two graves, one gone. You'll find someone.
Okay.
So long, London. What are your reactions?
Okay, so like musically, love the choral parts in the beginning. I wouldn't have ever heard that if you hadn't pointed it out, but then I did. Like, I definitely need to re-listen to this to find like there's so much going on behind the lyrics.
So, like, the first time I heard it, I just was like, oh my God. It literally felt like to me she like recorded this song like mid sobs. Like, I'm just getting color back into, like, she's literally like catching her breath in between every time she's like saying that to us. Like, she can't
Mm,
even compose herself enough to like not need to like take a deep breath in between every word she's saying. And
mm,
that is like so,
yeah.
so
I mean,
powerful.
there's definitely like this vulnerable softness in her voice the entire time, which is like not always what we hear from Taylor Swift, you know? It's very like, it's like she's right up to the mic and she's almost like whispering the whole time. So long, London, you. Yeah.
This song to
Fun.
me too, it's one of those songs that I think people could so easily be like, oh, it's about this ex, it's about that ex, it's about one of the million exes from London, right? But to me, this song is about having to say goodbye to like a version of yourself. It's like I
Mm.
had fallen in love with who I got to be there, and now I got to say goodbye to it. And I'm so fucking pissed because I was just starting to actually like it. I was just starting to feel good about it. What the fuck? London will
Yeah.
find somebody because at first she feels that loss, right? Like it's their loss to like, but then she really claims like, but I will also find somebody. And to me, like that's I will find a version of myself that I love this much again.
Yeah. You know, okay, so this is, I think, why this is my own downfall. When I listen to Taylor Swift, I can't help but trying to figure out what or who she's talking about because of how, like, how much we know.
And part of that is like the own culture that she set up, right? Like in her early albums, she literally would like capitalize the letters, certain letters, so you could spell out the name
Oh,
and
wow.
know who
Good
the
for
song,
her.
right?
Yeah.
Well, and like that was kind of her point, right? Like if boys don't want me to write bad mean songs about them, they shouldn't do mean things to me. Like that's
Yeah. Yeah.
fine.
I mean, I'm not saying that this is like her fault or whatever. I'm
Oh no,
just
no.
saying like
It,
and yeah, she should definitely write this. But like the whole time I'm just trying to like imagine because of Taylor's reputation of like being a breakup song artist. I'm just trying to imagine Taylor breaking up with someone and like That's why I'm like, I want to listen to this again. Because as you say that, well, actually, as I was listening to it, I was like, I need to listen to this again. Um, but as you say that, like, I'm like, oh yeah, like this is like, it's very much when you started talking about like a place, like if you really think of like an actual place, like I can relate this to my experience here in New York. And you say like every time that I think that like, oh, it's time to leave, something happens and it's like, and then it's like, it's not time to leave. It's very clear that it's not time to leave. But this like, you know, I have this feeling that like if I were to leave, and you'd say I abandoned the ship, but I was going down with it, my white knuckles dying grip. Like, I'm like, that's kind of like how I feel a lot of the time. Like, I know I need to be here, but like, life here is really hard sometimes. It's not, and I was talking about this to a friend recently. Like, I can survive here. I've survived here for over a decade. Thriving here is a different story. I don't know if I've met
Mm,
that version of me yet.
mm,
I I am under the impression that if I'm going to thrive anywhere, it's going to be here. So it's like it's hard to like think of somewhere else to go as I have so many friends jumping ship for their own good. Like one of my best friends just moved to Nashville, and like so many of my friends moved during the pandemic. And last year, my friend moved to Denmark, of all
right.
places. Like, I'm like, the everything is like slipping through my fingers. Everyone.
Mm, yeah. 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 Would you like to know some of the like Swiftie lore behind this song? Because there is some fun Swiftie lore with this
Yeah.
song.
Can I just tell you my favorite lines real
Please.
quick? Okay.
Yes, please.
So let's just start from the very top.
Yes. Can you tell me your favorite lyrics? Yes.
I mean, they're all so good. Like you're just like, oh my gosh. But I think ugh, my spine split from carrying us up the hill. Ugh. Yeah, I feel that. And I'm pissed off you let me give you all that youth for free. Ah! Oh my God. Like nobody will understand that line until you're in your mid 30s. Holy shit. And when I say nobody, I mean nobody except a female in her mid 30s will understand that line.
Yep.
Like, oh, because
Yeah.
it's like we there is a time limit for certain things for us,
Mm-hmm.
specifically children,
Mm-hmm.
if we want to have them in a way that doesn't involve like lots of money and lots of doctors and lots of intervention.
Right.
Um, and so yeah, giving away your youth for free, like if you want to be a mom, and I mean you can name that to like a bunch of other things that you might want to do with your life, but like if you want to be a mom and you just let someone take up precious time
Yes.
only to burn you, good God, yeah.
Yes.
If I could like send an invoice to a couple people.
For real.
Yeah, and then this part, um, when you're not sure if he wants to be there,
Mm, mm.
you feel that
Yep.
because you've been there. We've all been there.
Yes.
Like where we're like, we can't relax around someone.
Yep.
We're so worried that like if we were actually us, they would leave, but we need them. We need them. We think we do.
We think we do.
And in thinking that that is the truth, that's how we feel.
Yes.
You swore that you loved me, but where are the clues? Oh, that's like, I mean, that's like the existence of like if he wanted to, he would.
W-
Where are the clues? Yeah,
Yes,
you could tell me all day, but like,
yeah. The whole died on the altar, like sacrificial altar, wedding altar. What type of altar are we talking?
yeah.
Yeah.
So those are just a few of my favorite lines. Honestly, I could probably go by line and tell everybody how they relate to my life personally. Um, but it's so descriptive. It's so like it gets to the point. It makes you feel, which is what poetry is supposed to do. They say poets write in the essence of things,
Mm,
whether it's like truth or not, like it's meant to boil it down so that when you read it, you're feeling something. And that's a good storyteller and a good poet and a good songwriter.
the um for me, that part of I'm just getting color back into my face and I'm just mad as hell because I loved this place, that for me, like, resonated so deeply as somebody with chronic pain and illness. Like, there are so many times,
Mm.
especially like in college, like my senior year, like I was freaking put on tramadol, which is like a heavy duty painkiller. And I was on, they put me on a high dose of it as well. And so it made me feel like I had the flu on top of being in like so much pain.
Oh my
And it was
God.
like, being a senior in college, it's such a quintessential fun, at least in like where we went, where fun in its
Hmm.
own fucked up way, but like there's just a vibe to it. It's like
Yeah.
what I just figured out how to manage the dynamics of this little ass university technically now,
Yeah.
that we went to, like, it's like damn, and not like, and now I'm sick and I don't get to enjoy it, and then I'm healthy.
Yeah.
And I mean, I literally moved from Michigan to New Hampshire the day after graduation. Like,
God.
it was like, go. So, yeah, this is my like, I I it's almost embarrassing how much I listened to this song last year. I was in like the top 0.005% of listeners of So Long When. My husband used to literally joke that like I pay a tax when I open up Spotify because I could not listen to any other song
Until you listen
before
to
I
that first.
literally,
That's funny.
literally. Okay, so do you want to know the Swiftie lore?
Yeah, yeah, tell me.
Okay, so
Joe Alwyn?
this is definitely, if it's about anybody, it's about Joe.
Yeah.
Two big clues that it's about Joe. The I didn't opt in to be your odd man out. I founded the club she's heard great things about. Him, Paul Mescal, and some other dude have a group chat called the Tortured Man's Club.
Mm,
Tortured Poets Department, Tortured Man.
hmm.
Mm, little subtlest of fuck yous.
Yeah, who's the third guy? Is he also in a Sally Rooney
Probably.
adaptation?
Probably. I wish I could remember, but I can't remember who it's
We'll
about.
have to look it up.
Right. Which, and then we think about Paul Mescal's history with like two of her openers, Phoebe Bridgers and Gracie Abrams.
Right.
Yeah, shady. The biggest clue, though, is so she has this song off the Reputation album called Call It What You Want, which is like their love song. And we know it's their love song because in the documentary, there's like literally the cutest clip of her like singing it to him and like just they're so in love. Like,
Mm.
so I'll play, it's literally just seconds. To me and to a lot of other Swifties, she absolutely samples this Call It What You Want in So Long London. It's just sped up.
Okay.
So let me,
This is so fun. I'm learning so
it's
much.
so fun. I literally am sitting here like, man, there's so many other songs I'm so excited to show you now. Okay, so this is Call It What You Want, and I'll point out the parts. It's not really the lyrics, it's like the music.
My castle castle crumbled overnight. I brought a knife to a gunfight. They took the crown, but it's alright.
So now I gotta move this so I can see your face, not mine. Okay. Not quite yet. But when that like beat drops, my castle's crumbled under night. I brought a knife to a gunfight. But it's all right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's that song. Yeah, she does.
Yes. Like, and it's just done so beautifully to me. Like, I'm like, wow, that, yeah, yeah. I could literally go off into like 50 other songs that, like, it's like, there's another song that she's like, the slowest way to like kill somebody is just by never quite loving them enough. And
Yeah.
so then you have this, like, call it what you want with this, like, slow, steady beat to So Long London, which feels kind of like the ultimate goodbye. And it's like sped up, like
Mm-hmm.
right to the point. Yeah.
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 Yeah. It's
Yeah.
also like so like I think important to realize too, like knowing your worth and like knowing that someone isn't showing up for you in the way that you want. And sometimes it's just like not their fault. You two just aren't a match.
Yes.
And like I think that's what a lot of us get like kind of sad about is that then somebody like, an ex of ours goes and dates someone and they do all the things that like we were like, wait, I thought you didn't do those things. And it's just like it's just different. Just like we show up for people in different ways too. I
Yes.
mean, our anger is valid for a moment, but then we have to realize that like me too, that breakups are good because it means that you get to go and find the one that is going to treat you the way that you want to.
Yes. Yes. That trust that, like, okay, this is something better opening up.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't the end of the best. This is something better
Yeah.
opening. Yeah. Well,
As we've seen with Taylor Swift.
as we have seen with our girl, as my grandma would say, with our friend Taylor.
Your
Your
grandma's involved. I
your
love it.
your friend is on Good Morning. Your friend Taylor is on Good Morning America.
Oh my God.
Uh,
That's so cute. What a
it's so
grandma.
cute. Yes. Yes. Oh man. This is so
Yeah,
fun.
this is so fun. Closing thoughts?
Mm. I think my thoughts right now are just like trying to figure out which Taylor Swift song I want to show you next because oh
Yeah.
yeah, yes,
Yeah. What do I want to show you next? It's it's a toss up.
yeah,
Because it's like it's always up because I'm like, I'll listen to something and I'm like, oh, Chelsea's gonna love this. And usually it's because of like the lyrics. But I always want to, I mean, I think like this whole thing is like you're the lyrics gal. And I'm like not the lyrics gal, but like I approach the feeling of a song in a different way than you do. And like it's like usually about like the voice and the vocal structure and stuff like that. Whereas you're into the feelings. So like I'm trying to remind myself that it's not just I'm not just trying to please Chelsea.
yes, yeah. That's so funny. I'm so like I found myself doing the same thing. I found myself being like, oh, I want to show Kayla this song, but it's just so much more about the lyrics and the vocals, and so like maybe not that. We gotta stop second guessing it. We just
Yeah.
added to the list of songs and know that there's a reason that we feel the nudge to show each other.
Yeah. I think I've got ideas for next time.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yay. Well, make sure everybody you like, subscribe, and share so that way you
Cool.
see us next time too.
Yeah.
Take care of yourselves, everybody.
Yeah. Be nice.
Be nice, be kind.